Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Legend of Korra Book 4 Balance episode review. This one's going to be for K406 Battle of Zaofu, obviously episode 6 of Book 4 Balance as I said. And yeah, overall, I liked the episode, I really did, and Book 4 overall has been excellent so far. Though I do feel that this episode was, of all of them so far, maybe it lacked the most kind of excitement to it. Like, even though it had the big Kuvira Korra fight in it, I just came out of the episode feeling that, okay, apart from that, it was mainly set up going forward, I think, that, for a lot of stuff. The Varric Bolin stuff was just like, okay, Bolin's not going there, Varric's not going to be doing this for the whole season, they're doing something different. We find out that Zaofu eventually at the end gets taken. Korra's still dealing with some stuff. Some things happen. I really don't feel it had as much maybe impact as some of the other episodes. But I think it sets stuff up going forward that is good. And overall, the episode played its role pretty well. It's an episode 6, and it worked quite nicely as this kind of mid-season kind of I wouldn't say quite call it a mid-season finale because I don't think it was that dramatic, but the Kuvira Korra battle is that kind of like, okay, so the villain and the hero have fought once. Kuvira got the advantage the first time. Korra went to the Avatar state, got the advantage there, but there's something there between Korra and Kuvira that's very interesting. But let's get into some specifics on the episode. I suppose the Korra Kuvira stuff is the obvious place to start because, in my opinion, it was the best part of the episode. So we find out that obviously Kuvira knew that Suyun was going to attack her sneakily. She captures her Wei and Wing, and Korra goes out with Opal and Jinora to negotiate initially. Eventually, she finds out that she's not going to be able to negotiate. The only thing that Kuvira's offering is just hand over this thing to me, hand over Zaofu to me, and I'll let them go. And Korra doesn't want that, so inevitably it leads to a fight. And unexpectedly, at least for me, Kuvira just agrees to fight Korra one-on-one and basically asks her to use the Avatar state, use all of this stuff, which definitely surprised me. I kind of thought she would have a trick up her sleeve, but while she was confident fighting Korra just on normal Korra one-on-one, I think again, another villain who's kind of underestimated the power of the Avatar state, and really it was only Korra herself kind of not wanting to kill Kuvira and her issues that saved Kuvira from being killed. So that's an interesting one because it really sets up that Kuvira was quite arrogant again in this situation, thinking that she was better than she was more powerful than Korra in the Avatar state, when that wasn't the case. And with regards to the actual fight before then, it was pretty interesting. Just Korra was obviously the aggressor, and Kuvira just kind of stood back, dodged, and struck back. But I do feel she had to kind of be at her best because she was just kind of barely dodging these moves. So Korra, I don't think is quite at her 100%, obviously. So next time they fight, and maybe Korra's back to 100% without using the Avatar state, the fight should be very interesting. And just overall, what actually happened at the end, obviously, like, she dominated her in the Avatar state and was about to kill her, and a lot of the characters were kind of asking her to do it as well. Like, Sue was asking for it. Jinora and Opal, I think, didn't want it to happen. Jinora especially didn't want it to happen. Opal kind of asked for it, but then when it was about to happen, it was kind of like, whoa, Korra's really going to do this. And I think they were kind of just accepting of it in the end, and that this is a villain. If this has to happen, fine. Because Korra isn't the character that you think would be like really distraught over killing someone, I don't think. I think it would definitely affect her, but not on the level of, say, an Aang potentially doing that. But obviously that didn't happen, and this is where we get the one thing that really wasn't resolved over the whole mentor situation with Toph. That being Korra's vision of herself in the Avatar state. This kind of spirit that's kind of haunting her. That's the one thing that hasn't really been touched on again since episode 2, pretty much, I think. So we don't get to see that again. And we get to see that again on Kuvira this time, and it's just pretty interesting because I suppose the idea that they're trying to go for is that Kuvira is very similar to Korra, and that was kind of pointed out in the last episode with Kuvira saying, while you were gone, I made some big decisions, and Korra realized that I made big decisions. People didn't like me for it. Is she so different than me? And maybe there's a level of that, and that she feels like killing Kuvira is like killing herself, even though fundamentally I think they have different ideals and are very different people. So what exactly does that represent? Again, is I think a mystery going forward, because even Janora's like, we got all the metal out, she should be fine, what's the problem here? And I think everyone's asking the question, what exactly is the problem here? Because I don't think they're going to repeat the whole idea of just an Avatar doesn't want to kill someone. I don't think that's the case. Just because, that was Aang's thing in the final season. I don't think they're suddenly going to turn Korra into that. They've kind of done that, like she doesn't want conflict and she wants to be more mature about things, but I don't think the whole killing thing is going to be a big issue. I think it is more about herself, and maybe it's about her fearing the Avatar state a little bit. Maybe it's just this last moment of doubt that she doesn't think she can do it, because if she has to rely on the Avatar state to finish every fight, then she herself is not very powerful, which I suppose is what she learned in book 2, that she herself can be very powerful even without Rava. And here she kind of has to rely on the Avatar state. So it's going to be super interesting to see what happens, and I think we know there's still that mysterious shot from the trailer to expect, where apparently Korra and Mako go to this building in the mountainside that the Order of White Lotus are guarding, and something happens there. Maybe she has to confront Zahir to finally, once and for all, get over what happened to her. But at the same time, I think that kind of fear of her enemies is kind of over, and I think it is more just about Korra's ideals right now, and Korra kind of finding who she is a little bit. So finding a balance within herself, when do I fight, when do I not fight, that sort of a thing. But yeah, it is interesting, but very interesting to see what happens from here on out, because obviously Opal and Janora had to step in to save Korra after this, because Kuvira's going to kill her in a pretty weird way. She turns the thing that she usually uses to block someone's eyes and legs and stuff like that into kind of crescent-shaped daggers, and was about to really hurt her, but obviously they saved her with the tornado. Janora contacted everyone via her spirit technique, and Milo and the cavalry arrived basically and took her out. So I assume they're going back to Republic City, because Korra said that earlier on in the episode, to Batar, prepare these people that, if things go wrong, get them back to Tenzin. And I think that's where they're going, and next episode maybe we're going to get a reunion or something like that between Korra and a lot of characters. We may see her finally put on her new Avatar clothing, but maybe we may take an episode break away from these characters to maybe focus on what's going on in Republic City with Mako and Wu and the world leaders and stuff like that. Maybe what's Varric and Bolin are doing. But I think the big result of this episode is that Zaofu has fallen. I think from here on out, maybe the battlefield changes. Zaofu may end up I still think being a big point, in that if they can take back that place, it's going to be important. But Republic City seems to be where things are going from here on out, that Kuvira may decide that, okay, I have united the Earth Empire, I have this whole continent except Republic City. It's still on the continent, I think we should have it. Maybe that's her ideal. Maybe she decides that she wants the whole world. If the Earth Empire is so good, she wants the whole world, and make her a little bit more like Ozai, and that she decides, okay, I'll reunite my home kingdom, and now wait, they need me as well, and something like that. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Bolin and Varric, I suppose, is the second most scenes in the episode. Basically, Varric builds a bomb. Bolin acts kind of confused a lot, because obviously he doesn't know what Varric's saying, because you really get the idea that the connection that Varric and Julie had, and that all he ever had to say was do the thing, and he never needed to explain to her what that thing was. She would just do it because she knew what he wanted. And we see with Bolin, he doesn't know. Batar Jr. doesn't know, and he's just, kind of, you really see how kind of hurt he is about it, but he's kind of portraying that as being angry at her, that like he should have known, instead of actually being really upset. So something still has to come from there. I really like the kind of line that he said towards the end of the episode, in that like it's going to go down the dictionary to like people are going to say like he varricked himself because his girlfriend you lead him or something like that. That was a really fun line. And yeah, the Spirit Vine thing, we don't get a lot of extra detail on it other than the fact that Varrick seems to know a lot more about it now. He seems to be a lot more confident with dealing with it, in that he could actually rig it into a bomb just like that. But Batar Jr. has actually learned a little bit about it, and now he's going to continue with the project. And you do wonder, what exactly are they going to use this weapon for? I would assume it's going to give Kuvira the power to fight Korra in the Avatar state. I think that's ultimately where they're leading, where Korra in the Avatar state is going to have to like fight like Zhu Li in some like big tank that has this laser cannon on it, and something's going to happen from there, because that seems to be where they're going. That they made it clear that okay, Korra's not fully 100% normally, but she can defeat Kuvira in the Avatar state if she gets past obviously this kind of block that she's having. And Kuvira is confident that she could take on Korra in the Avatar state, but realized she couldn't, so maybe that's the case, because her whole goal apparently is done right now. She's reunited the whole Earth Empire. And yes, Korra is against her, the world leaders are against her, there's still some stuff to tie up, but for the most part her goal is done, so what's kind of she going to do from here? Is she really going to focus on the fact that Korra defeated me in the Avatar state, I need to defeat her? What's Kuvira's next goal, I suppose, is the question, and how does that involve the Spirit Vine weapons, because what's she going to fire them at? I assume she's waiting for like the United Forces to attack her, and she has those to take them out, because they would be the only army of a similar size to Kuvira's maybe to be able to take her out. So that's going to be interesting, and how that involves the other world leaders as well. And obviously the result of this is that they separate the trains. Bolin and Dark stay on the one with the bomb, while Batar and the rest of the people are separated on the other part of the train. It explodes, but Bolin obviously like saves them by like jumping into the track and earthbending into the ground and kind of blocking it, but they're still kind of a little bit kind of injured, singed, so to speak. And yeah, it's just there's no real idea of like where are they going from here. Are they going to go back to Republic City and warn people about the spirit weapons? Because right now on the good side, these are the only two people who know about this, so that would be, I suppose it's cool that they have this kind of solo plot going on, Bolin and Varrick, and a lot of the characters are going to think that they're dead for a while, because obviously Batar, as far as Batar is concerned, they're dead. He's now told Kuvira they're dead, and she can now use that whenever she encounters like Opal with Korra and stuff like that. And then there's obviously the potential for their kind of surprise reunion with other characters coming from here on out. And you know, I'm actually trying to remember, like, was Zhu Li in the scene where where Kuvira was told that Varrick was dead? I think she was, and then the kind of cliffhanger for the episode is like Zhu Li is going to help Batar make the weapons. And I suppose with Zhu Li in the episode, you do get one or two scenes of her face kind of looking a little bit concerned about what's going on, that she is having doubts maybe about what she's done, or she is just not happy about being undercover or something like that, depending on what way that goes. That's still up in the air as to which way that is. Did she actually betray him, or is it like a double agent type thing? What else? So yeah, the Varrick Bolin stuff, I don't really know where they're gonna go. I assume everyone's heading for Republic City right now. That's my only prediction, really. Because we still have to return to Mako and Wu. World leaders are there. I assume Korra and everyone else is going to go back to Tenzin. and Asami's there with Hiroshi. We didn't see them in this episode, so that's going to maybe potentially be a thing to counteract the Spirit Vine technology. Maybe Varric and Hiroshi teaming up, and maybe there being something there between them. Maybe they know of each other as inventors. And of course, yeah, Bolin and Varric coming back to the city makes sense. Bolin having to reunite with Mako because I think there's still like some sort of an apology to happen between the two. And yeah, besides that, I suppose Opal, the Beifong family, actually, that's one of the big things. Their home was taken over, and everyone except obviously Lin, who's in Republic City, and Opal, who went away with everyone else on Pepper, is captured by Kuvira. And that's interesting just because you do get the sense that none of them were killed, they're all just captured, and they made a big deal about the whole family minus Opal is there. And like obviously Toph's been in this book, we know Lin is in Republic City. There still seems to be something set up with the whole Beifong family, and you know, I still think that Lin and Toph need to meet, and you know, Suyin, I suppose, is going to be the big person they need to rescue. So that's going to be cool. We did get some nice scenes with, I suppose, Huan judging the art of Iki and Bolin, and you can sort of see that he's that real kind of arty guy who looks at like art that is just, you know, like matter of fact good, and it's just like there's no soul to this. And then he looks at art that, you know, to most people maybe who are not artistic would look like, kind of like not great, like Iki's, and see like you really put your heart into this. I love this, and it's just they really made him that kind of weird arty kind of guy. I like that with him, that he likes the more abstract art than the just, you know, matter of fact good art. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, more a little setup that Batar Jr.'s issue is with his father, as opposed to his mother or anything like that. He goes straight up to him and is just like, bow to her, look at what we've done. And he just says, his father just says, you know, I'm so disappointed in you, Junior. And I said in my written review for the last week's episode that I think that's the key to Batar Jr.'s kind of going with Kuvira, that of all of the people in his family, his siblings and stuff like that, he's the only one who was named after someone in his family. He was given the name Batar Jr. So by definition, kind of he feels like he is just a different version of his father, and he's the only one in like the book 3 episodes set in Zaofu that didn't get like a focus on him. Like you know, Opal was the key focus of that episode. Huan got his own scene, Wei and Wing got their own scenes, and stuff like that. But he didn't. He was just seen walking by with his father. And to some extent, he wants to step out of his father's shadow and best him as a kind of architect, inventor, scientist. So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. I like that Batar Jr. does actually have a character arc. Opal obviously is now going to have to deal with the fact that her family's captured. She's very emotionally involved, and we even see her kind of almost wanting to give up her kind of air nomad oaths and actually attack someone. And it's not until, you know, to defend Korra that the two of them jump in. So that was interesting as well. I like that Opal's kind of coming back into things, and she seems to have that plot that she wants to rescue her family, and that might be a thing. Don't know where Kai is though. I really would like to see him again. But overall, I think that's more or less all the characters in the episode. It is a good episode. I'm not going to say it's like bad or anything like that, but it didn't excite me as much as some of the other episodes. It did what it needed to do as an episode 6 to kind of bring things forward more, but and I'm excited for some of the stuff that it has set up. But as an individual episode, you know, it definitely is not going to go down as one of the best episodes of Korra ever. While I think some of the earlier episodes in this book, you could actually make an argument for them being like some of the best ones so far, especially like Korra Alone and stuff like that. So, you know, good but not like stunning, amazing. But the run of good episodes so far in book 4, I think, has continued. That book 4 balance has 6 in a row now that have been like really good. So I just want to make that clear, that even though maybe I'm not as kind of like amazed by this episode as the other ones, it is still very good. So yeah, that's been the review. in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on the episode. Also, make sure to check out the 2 podcasts coming up at the weekend. Saturday is going to be our podcast review of The Rift Part 3, final part of the Rift comic, and then on Sunday is going to be our review of this episode, K406, Battle of Zaofu. So, yeah, look forward to that on the site on Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, thanks for watching this review, and bye.